I'd like to do is put labels on all of my planets. To do this, we need to check a few things first. I'm going to zoom in to just a couple of the planets here. Maybe this section will be good enough for us. And you can see that our grid is turned on at 1 unit. So that's just 1 unit there. Now this is important to understand the scale, because when we set the text style up, we're going to have to make sure that it fits appropriately on the map. Now a text size of 1 unit high would be too much, so it's going to have to be a little bit less. I'm going to click over here on the text specs button. That sets the default text specs. Currently the text is set at 0.75 of a unit, which is about right. I'm also going to make sure that I've got my bold and my italics turned on, and a font which I like here. So I'm going to click on OK. That's all looking good for me. The next thing I want to do is make sure that my text goes down onto the appropriate layers and sheets. Remember, layers are up here, and currently the layer that we've got selected is Sun. I'm going to deselect that and change it to labels. There we go. Click on OK. I'm also going to come over here to the Sun layer, and I'm going to change that to text. Click on OK. Finally, I'm going to change the text color. I'm going to click on it, and rather than being that soft blue color, I'm going to make it say white. Good. All set. So we've got the right sheets selected for text, we've got the right color selected for text, we've got the right layer selected for text. We've even got the right size selected for text, so we're all set to go. To add text, simply click on the text button here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So I'm going to select my text, and I'm going to position it here. And the first planet I'm going to call, since it's so close to the Sun, I'm going to call it Hot Cat. There we go. There's Hot Cat. My next one, I can just click where I want it to go, and I'm going to call this Hell. Now I'll position it there. Now this, I've forgotten to put some moons onto that, so I'm going to click temporarily. I'm just going to click back on my planets, select my flat, select a nice planet for a moon. I wouldn't mind using a darker sort of planet color. There's a nice one, way too big. Select my symbols, make this 0.03. There we go. There's a nice little moon for us, and I select a slightly redder moon. I might put him over this side, like so. Let's come back to our text. And now this planet is one of the main planets. It's just on the edge of the hotter zone of the Goldilocks zone of the star system. As a result, I'm going to call it Brilliance. And Brilliance is in fact the name of the star system. This system was the first settled planet in the system. Now, something interesting is I've just noticed has happened there. My color changed, so I'm just going to undo that. Undo. I'm going to go back to my color, select it, and then re-add that. I guess that happened when I changed the moons. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Now, this is the second planet, habitable planet in the zone. It's probably at the further end of the Goldilocks zone. It's going to be a little bit cooler, and so I'm going to call that Chill. In the sci-fi game I'm creating, it is a habitable planet. It's got a small colony on it, but it's not particularly well populated at the moment. Now we've got this lovely big gas giant with all these moons floating around it. Let's give that a nice simple name. This is Aeolia. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more, come to this other large gas giant. I'll give this a name of Captical. There we go. I'm just creating random names. Captical. So let's zoom out. Looking very, very good. Let's name these two planets here. I'm not even going to bother zooming in. I'm just going to call the next one Bob, because I love the name Planet Bob, and if you don't know where that comes from, watch more Walt Disney, I think it was. Just a position. Someone obviously had a sense of humour. Caitlin. Give me the last one out here. Cull off. Asteroid belt. There we go. So, looking good now. I'm going to zoom back in on some of these planets, get a nicer close focus. You can pretty much see that they're all solid, but what I want to do is name this planet here, because this has the potential to have a colony on it. And I'm going to call this one Crystal. Skies 15. Crystal Skies is actually the name of a mining organization in my world setting, so I think that's appropriate. There we go, we have our system pretty much near completion. Click on Save. Right, the last thing we're going to do is change some of this text up here. So I'm just going to zoom in. There we go. So we can see, because we've got our snap on, that this text is relatively large. It's probably just under 2. So what I'm going to do is come over here. I'm going to add some text. Oops, I better change the text color. There we go. Come back over to add our text. And we will make our text Brilliance, since that's the name of the entire system. We're going to change the text properties, and instead of being the standard 0.75, I'm going to make this 1.5. Now, this is not changing it for all future text, just for this batch of text which I'm putting in. So I'm going to click on OK. There you go, you can see that we've got our name here. For the moment, I'm just going to pop it here. I'm going to come and move it a bit later. I'm going to move over here, and we've got a system location. That is completely irrelevant to this particular game, so I'm going to remove that. I'm just going to click on the Remove tool. There we go. Select the text, do it. Come back here. I'm now going to remove the system name text under there, so I'm going to click on the Remove tool. Select that text, best I can. Do it. And now I'm going to use the Move tool to grab this piece of text, do it, just bring it down to say here. Let's check if there's any other text I want to change. Looks to be about it. Zoom out. Brilliant. We now have a brand new map showing an entirely fictitious star system, all made with the default templates and default settings within Campaign Cartographer and Cosmographer add-in product. You've got lovely faded orbits, you've got moons listed, the whole shebang. You can go and develop your own maps very, very quickly with this technique, and I encourage you to do so. Have a great time and enjoy your mapping, and also have a great 2011.